Hi everybody, my name is Annie Massey and I'm going to do a presentation today on Mary Ainsworth. She was a pioneer developmental psychologist who focused on attachment theories. So a little bit of a background on Mary. She was born in 1913 and passed away in 1999. Her education, she actually did all at the University of Toronto. She started with a bachelor's, went on to do her master's, and then later her PhD. The work experience she did a lot of different things. She first served in the Canadian Women's Army Force for 4 years. Later, she started to work with John Bowlby, who's a British psychologist who also works with attachment styles. They mainly work together on infant-mother attachment. She later became a professor at Johns Hopkins University. She stayed there for a couple years and then went on to the University of Virginia. So her main areas of research are developmental psychology, specifically studying attachment theory between infants and parents. And you will see that that is mainly mothers. One of the criticisms with Mary is that she didn't do a lot of experiments with fathers, but she definitely studied that mother-child attachment a lot. And then her main experiment that is pretty popular, you might have heard of it, is the strange situation test, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So Mary's main contribution to psychology is definitely the attachment theory. She was one of the first women in psychology to study attachment theories and how that relates to child development. So the strange situation test was an experiment that tested separation anxiety in children when they were separated from their mother and introduced to a new person, a stranger. The steps were repeated several times. And so they did this in a room that had toys and things that the child could explore. And they wanted to see how much the child would explore and play during the experiment, and then also how much anxiety the child had and just their overall behavior. So this led into her coining the 4 types of attachments, which were secure, anxious, resistant, insecure, anxious, avoidant, insecure, and disorganized attachment. Moving on to her research that she did in psychology, she became a member of several organizations, including the Society for Research in Child Development and the Association of Child Psychology and Psychiatry. She received several awards, such as the Distinguished Contribution Award from the Maryland Psychological Association in 1973. And then she also wrote 3 books that you'll see here: Patterns of Attachment, Measuring Security and Personal Adjustment, and Infancy in Uganda, Infant Care and the Growth of Love. I decided to do my presentation on Mary Ainsworth because I am a child psychology major, and Ainsworth was one of the first women psychologists that studied and taught child development. And then I have a personal interest in attachment styles and theories and how that affects development in children, because I've actually been a nanny for over 6 years. So I spent a lot of time with children studying child psychology, is kind of bringing that full circle. So I've worked a lot with ages 0 to 8, a lot of infants and toddlers, and just helping them reach developmental milestones. So that's been interesting to actually learn about these things and kind of bring it all together. And then here you'll see the references if you want to go back and do any more research on child development and attachment styles. Thank you for your time and listening to this presentation, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.